Hi guys, another really cool project is starting today. Dan and Dane are putting in windows in the cockpit today.
Windows. We all have them. They're everywhere. And they come in all shapes and sizes. Tinted, thermal, double paned. And Delos 2.0, well, she has got a lot of them.
Windows, windows, windows.
Why is there so many windows?
And then there's the hatches.
How many hatches do we have to do?
More than 20. You went overboard on the lights, Kaz. I went overboard on the hatches.
But these are no ordinary hatches. In fact, finding them took us all the way to Sweden.
So on your hatches we will put an air vent like this. That's the only one in the world that is available like that.
And now, 14 months and countless decisions later, it was time to put it all together.
Can you reach him?
No!
Oops. Oh no!
So yeah, I'm gonna try to capture kind of the process for you guys and for me too, because I'm really excited to see how it's gonna go in. Let's have a look. Okay, what's going on here?
Basically the process is we taped up the windows, we cleaned it with acetone, we put the prep on, we sanded the window, put the primer on the window, add a 4mm spacer, and we cut around the tape, so we should have a nice 4mm clearance for our backfill on our window.
And then after that you put the glue.
Put the glue straight onto the windows and then set them down and set them with a 4mm cap. Then we come back and backfill it later.
And that's it.
That's it. So
Cool.
It should be good.
Yeah.
So that was the plan. Over the next few days, every window and every hatch will be going in for good, bringing us one step closer to finally closing up the boat.
Yeah, it's gonna look so cool. Like, it's that feeling of like starting to see things coming permanently, and it's pretty special. Okay, so this is the next window.
So that's the next window that we're going to put in. Look at the beads. It's like welding really, isn't it? I think we just want to go over that way, outboard on the bottom. That's what we're looking for, Kaz. 90 degrees.
Phew.
Oh. Hey, looking good. That looks fancy schmancy.
Yeah,
How we doing?
yeah, great.
That's a big window.
It is. Bloody heavy window too.
Nice. Closing up. Windows, windows, windows. Starting to feel like a boat. All right, windows are going in.
Yes.
That's such a huge milestone.
I know, and we wanted to talk a little bit more to you guys about like the choices that we made. And I think one interesting one that we haven't touched on yet is, why is there so many windows? Like, there's a lot of windows.
Yeah, I don't know, some of that is functional, you know, because we have our helm inside the boat instead of outside. We wanted to make sure that we got 360-degree visibility all around. It's also nice not only when you're sailing, but at anchor. Like on Delos, she's an amazing boat, but you would go down into the hold.
We call it like an English pub.
It's like an English pub, lovingly. It was very nice and very cozy, but once you were down there, you didn't know what was going on. You couldn't see anything. No. I actually think it'll be really cool because the galley's right here and the table would be right here. So if you're in here cooking at the sink and everybody's socializing, you're still part of the action.
I know, I love that.
It's a really big window. Look at how big this window is. I can pass food, drinks, listen to the tunes.
So before we get too carried away serving drinks on our unfinished boat, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Saily. So Saily is an electronic SIM card provider. So when More comes to visit us here in Australia, it is super easy to get her connected. All we need to do is install the app on our phone, and then you're going to want to select a plan for the region that you're in. Now, when we're out sailing, we'd select a regional plan, something like the Asia and Oceania plan. It's going to cover 19 countries all in one go. But now More is just going to be chilling with us in Australia, so that's the one we're going to select. More is now connected. She is free to roam around Australia, drive Sierra to school, and seek out all those golf courses that I know she's so keen on. So do not get caught out by expensive roaming charges when you're traveling. No stores, no long lines, you'll be online in minutes. And if you are an extreme traveler, Saily is now offering a new Ultra plan, which will cover you in 121 countries worldwide. And since Saily is brought to you by our friends at NordVPN, you're also going to get ad blocker, virtual location, and enhanced web protection all wrapped in with that bundle. All you have to do is install the Saily app. I'll go ahead and pop our link below and also in the description. It is saily.com/SVDelos. And when you check out, do not forget to use our coupon code of SVDelos because that is going to save you 15% off your selected plan. Saily also offers a full refund if for any reason your dinosaur phone is not compatible with an eSIM, but most of them are these days. And that's it. Thank you so much for supporting our project by watching. And now let's get back to finishing up those windows and hatches. We've talked a lot about why we chose so many windows, but now that they're in, it's time to make them permanent. That means sealing everything up, doing the final detail work that actually makes them last.
It's called coving, right?
Yeah.
Coving. Which is basically that little silicone bead?
Seal.
Seal?
Yep, backfill.
Yeah. So you just tape both sides and then just...
Yeah, tape both sides and then put a nice little bead in there and make it all nice and consistent.
Yeah. Cool. And you started on the front too?
Yeah, so put the front windows in next and get it all boxed up.
Woo!
All the windows up here are tempered glass to a specific thickness. So if you want to meet like CE Cat A standards for an open ocean going vessel, the thickness differs if they're forward facing, rear facing, depending on how high they are above the water line. So you have to pay attention to that. And then we had to decide whether we wanted them tinted or not. The back ones are tinted more heavily for shade and also for privacy. The ones on the side are fairly tinted as well. And for every window except for the most forward facing ones, we went tinted for good visibility at night when we're sailing.
Finished! Look at this, it turned out so good. And here is the door, which is super solid. It's like, I love this handle and like the lock and everything. This big hopper window, it's in front of the steering wheel and the nav station.
And we're gonna get so much breeze through the boat, and when we're sailing, to have this whole thing just open and visible.
Another thing that I've been working on is trying to figure out curtains. So what I'm thinking on these windows is that it will be like one of those kind of, it will be two lines on the sides, because all these windows too, they're not straight like that, they kind of tilt a little bit. So on these it's easy to do like a curtain like this if we want to, but on these windows you can't really do that because we don't have kind of like way to hide the curtain. So not exactly sure how I'm gonna solve this, but if anybody can think of a clever way to cover these with any kind of curtain, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear it.
Okay, storm's rolling in, better batten down the hatches.
But yeah, It's starting to close up, guys. It's so exciting. I love it. The next project on the agenda is all the hatches. And I wanted to give like a little introduction to the hatches that we chose and kind of the decisions that we made, because there's a lot of thought and effort that has gone into all of these hatches on the boat.
One of the biggest gripes we had about Delos was there was very few hatches. So in the big salon that we had, there was only one moderate sized hatch.
Yeah.
And so we always struggled to get enough air coming through the boat. It was always very hot in there and it wasn't very comfortable all the time.
Yeah.
Each cabin sort of had one hatch.
Yeah.
And the hatch in our aft cabin was facing backwards. So you literally had to put a wind scoop to put it up. And so we've actually gone the opposite. We might have gone a little bit overboard on Delos too. This is a drawing of all the hatches. In the accommodation space, we have, let's see, these are the largest ones over the salon, and then we have one over the head, cabin, cabin, head, cabin, cabin. So
one over the galley as well.
We added one over the galley. 10 hatches.
And then we also have the big hopper window both in the back and in the forward.
I don't think we're gonna have any problems getting ventilation through this boat.
What an upgrade.
And we've also made a aesthetic design decision to go with flush mount hatches. It was a lot of extra work, it was a lot of extra labor, and we had to build the plumbing system to drain the hatches out.
So tell me about this drainage. So it lays flat and then the water will go in here.
Yep, and then we have a drain in the corner.
So there's one of those in the lowest point.
So from a complexity, cost, and labor perspective, it didn't make sense. But when we get the decking on and it's all flush right up to the hatches, it's gonna look
really, really nice.
Yeah,
right?
you can see how it's recessed in the deck. And what we're gonna do on the deck of the boat, we're gonna have decking that will come up right up to the hatch. And on this roof, we're gonna have solar panels. So you can imagine the solar panels will come, they're gonna be thin, mounted directly to the roof, and they'll come right up to here and they'll follow the contour this all the way around.
And we also utilized hatches in some other places where it might not be expected.
We're in the aft lounge right now, we're calling it, which is kind of gonna be our outdoor living space with barbecue grill, sink, fridge, outdoor galley, all that sort of stuff, seating over there. And instead of doing a traditional door, we decided to use one of those large same size hatches we just showed you upstairs. So instead of mounting it like where it would open up like this, we can mount it so that it opens up this way or that way, and it'll give us, it's a very cost-effective way to do watertight doors.
And we have quite a few. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 back here, right? And then 1 there, so that's 4, and then we have 2 in the forward cockpit. And we looked into getting some quotes for like custom-made doors, and it was up there, guys.
It was a couple grand each.
Yeah, it was a couple of grand each, and we just felt like, I don't know, like I think the hatches, the black hatches will look incredible.
I just feel like super cool.
And it's gonna match.
It'll all match the style of the windows and everything, so. And the hatches that we selected are from Rutgerson. We actually went and toured the factory and saw how they made them. We're here to talk about the hatches for Delos 2.0.
They push the full mold halves with 80 ton.
How does that work and how does it start? And like, let's say that you get an idea for a new product. Where do you take it from there? I mean, there's so many cool machines down there. Like, you know, I get about like CNC mills and lathes and injection molding machines and everything, like everything. I'm all excited.
They're
That's
incredibly
really cool.
high quality. They've got a thick custom blend of acrylic that is UV stable and tinted. And we're also using the Rutgerson special vents that we showed. So it's a really nice design. You can basically open it up. And then when it rains, or you're taking waves, I mean, when it rains, you just leave it open.
Yeah.
Right, but if you want to close it, you can pull it from above or down below, and then it seals up pretty nice. It's a really slick design.
So you can watch that video. We can put a link to it here because it was really cool to go and see their factory and just creating that amazing relationship with them too. Well, there's a lot of hatches to install, so let's get on it.
Let's get busy. The second you film me, I'm screwing it up.
How many hatches do we have to do?
Like more than 20. You went overboard on the lights as I went overboard on the hatches.
Because we were hot on Delos when you were...
It was always dark inside, and you're always stinking hot. So now we're gonna be super bright and airy.
We're gonna very carefully carry it upstairs.
Oh, look at that fit, huh?
Oh yeah.
Can you reach him?
No!
Oops.
Oh no! We're gonna
have to have, like, a
need to get you a step stool and close the hatches, guys. I can barely get him. There they go. Ooh, that's pretty nice. So this is the vent.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So that if it's raining, we can have that open and we still get a little bit of breeze. So these we don't have to keep all the way open, right? We can adjust it like that.
Yeah, true.
Those are really nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Good job, Ludwig. You like your design.
So you guys have done the whole roof?
Yeah, the whole so that's 11 plus 6. I think we have 17 more to go.
Too many.
Quite a lot.
You guys went nuts.
But it's gonna be great. I just wanted to take a moment to take a little pause and give a huge shout out to Dan and the whole Starbrook team. It's just so special to work with people that have a lot of skill, a lot of knowledge obviously, and then also but a lot of pride and kind of like passion for what they're doing. And it means so much for us, for the videos, for the build, and just, you know, making our time here as enjoyable as possible. And I feel like it has to do a lot with the people that you work with.
Want me to speak in a German accent, Kaza?
No, thank you. I'm okay.
What about the Swedish?
That's better. So yeah, just a huge shout out to Dan and the whole team, because we love working with you and it just means so much. And so I just wanted to give a little shout out and say that, because I don't think maybe we don't do it enough.
There we go.
Happy birthday, dear Daniel. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! 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 Woo!
Thank you, everybody.
So that's the end of this week's video. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. And yeah, if you do like the videos and you want to give it a thumbs up or a comment, that helps us out so much. And also you can head to patreon.com/svdelos to become even more part of the Delos tribe, and there you can like chat with us on a more personal level. We do meetups sometimes, and also kind of more like live updates from the build and stuff. So if you're interested, check that out. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next Friday. Okay, bye.
45 today.
Oh.
Yeah, on my way to 50.
You're doing good, Dan.
I love natural light. It's amazing.
Oh. Saw interruption.
I love natural light. It's really amazing, but it can also be